The 2016 season is not yet over because we've just arrived here in Maggiora for one of the biggest events of the year. The Monster Energy FIM Motocross of Nations presented by FIM Professional. It is the 70th time that the best riders in the world come together to represent their nation. After a second win last year in Ernie, Team France are the defending champions and will try their very best to make it 3 times in a row and claim that title yet again, but this time on Italian soil. Once again, Polan, Febra and newcomer Patrell will ride the numbers 1, 2 and 3. However, there'll be many teams that will try and end their winning streak and take home that Chamberlain trophy for themselves. Benvenuti in Maggiora, Italy for the 2016 Monster Energy FIM Motocross of Nations, presented by FIM Professional.
Here's how the Motocross of Nations scoring system works. There are 3 riders per team and they race for their country. They race with the numbers of where they finished last year. For example, France are the defending champions and race 1, 2, 3. Each rider will race twice. And where you finish is what you score. So first is 1 point, 10th equals 10 points. 5 out of the 6 results count. And the worst result gets dropped. The lowest team total wins. Three races on Sunday. Race 1 is MXGP and MX2. Race 2 is the MX2 and Open riders. Race 3 is Open and MXGP, the big one.
It's my birthday and we are in Italy, and I'm riding for Italy for the Motocross of Nations, one of the most important race of the year. Our goal is to do 110% and try to finish on the podium. That will be amazing for Italy.
I'm very happy to be here. Obviously, I didn't really want to race because I felt like I wasn't ready for the 450 and we didn't spend enough testing on. It takes a little bit of time to get it all perfectly together, and I think a little bit of a week is too short for that. So just going to go out, do our best and hopefully get a good finish.
Defending champions Roman Febra, Team France, Tony Cairoli, Team Italy, and Alex Martin for Team USA take us for a lap around this Maggiora Park circuit for the 70th edition of the Monster Energy FIM Motocross of Nations, presented by FIM Professional. About 80 metres into turn 1, then we go left over the Fox hole shot line through 3 shallow waves. You can double if you're lucky over the first 2 before arriving at turn 2. Slightly back to the outside, that right-hander 180. Into turn 3, a similar kind of turn, a little bit higher on the bank on the outside this time around. Then it's the first of the long uphills over the Ippon step up, landing up onto the top plateau. Then we drop downhill underneath the Monster Energy Bridge. A long, steep descent, hard on the brakes into this tight right. Again, you can utilize the bank around the outside, uphill, and this 180 left horseshoe, a lot steeper than it looks. Dropping back down into this next 180. And of course, the atmosphere here will be absolutely electric. Heading uphill over the jump on the turn, so it's a jump over a tabletop, landing down the other side into the banked right. The series of split lanes has gone. Instead, it's just a flat race up to the top of the hill, over the turn, dropping downhill over the fullback tabletop jump, and then landing through here. This is turn 11, built up. The old track used to go left, but now we drop downhill, short drop into the 90 right, and then this left, extending the track slightly over the hip jump, and then over about 25 meters Monster Energy tabletop, picking up the old racetrack right here into this 180 left. The short straight takes us into the 180 right, and then over the hip jump, short tabletop on the turn, although slightly extended than we had it over previous years. Sweep downhill over the second of the Fiat fullback bridges through a series of waves, G'ing out right here into the face of this camelback, floating all the way down into the valley, and then again extending further up into the trees here. Big step up into the left-hand side, or you can rail around the outside. Might be a little bit of action there as the weekend goes on. Tabletop downhill, and then back onto the old part of the circuit here, over a massively extended step down, through the penultimate corner, over the Tag Heuer hip jump, down past pit lane about 100 meters through the final turn, a big sweeping left-hander where the Monster Energy finish line jump awaits. And then landing on the downside. That takes us through the final right and left, back onto the start straight to embark on another lap here at Maggiora.
It's always an honour to race for your country, and makes it even more special, you know, my last 250 race. I'm really looking forward to this weekend to go and put on a good show for all the Team GB fans that have come all the way over to support us.
We've got 3 strong riders this year. We're all in good shape. There's a lot of teams this year that's on an equal playing field. France has got a slightly weaker team than they did last year. America's not got their, let's say, A team. So I think we're in with a good shout at not only a podium, but maybe even an outside shot at the wins.
There's no reason why we can't do it. We just have to all ride to our potential on a day and get good starts, and yeah, just give it our all. And I think if hopefully this year we can just make it happen.
I would say the special thing of our team, I see us more as 4 friends going to the nations, because we grew up together racing.
We had this team already once a few years ago, but somehow it didn't work out. We were not that fit there, and now, yeah, we have that combination again, the best 3 riders we have from Switzerland.
You represent your country, it's pride, and this year is pretty special. We have a great team and it's really close to home. Hope we're gonna have a lot of Swiss fans and enjoy this moment.
This year I learned a lot with the bike and also myself, so yeah, I come ready for the nation.
I think it's the best team we have had.
There are a few really good teams on the same level like we are, or even some are a bit better maybe. But
if we make our job, the result we have to do, no mistake, going till the end, I think we can fight for the podium.
In the 10 years that I'm responsible for Team Belgium, I had never really witnessed such a strong team spirit, team atmosphere.
I'm just so excited because it's my first race to represent my country.
Great event, so many people, so many spectators.
It's nearly a once-in-a-lifetime experience.
We won it in 2013 and it was awesome, you know. It's the best feeling in the world to win with your team.
For sure, we are confident that we can end up on the podium again.
It's not going to be easy, but for sure we are all motivated and ready to battle.
A mix of nations, everything is possible, so we see what happens.
Motocross of Nations presented by Fiat Professional is so special, even the qualifying races. Let's take a look at what happened on Saturday in the qualifying highlights, best moments.
The MXGP qualifying heat. It was a flying start for the Italian Antonio Cairoli. Roman Fevre was always there in about third place, but the number 13, Valentin Guillot of Switzerland, went out on the first lap. Fevre quickly got himself in a second, passing the Canadian Kevin Benoit, but he took out inadvertently the number 4 of Cooper Webb. The American would remount in 30th place and get back to 18th. The battle up front, though, was Cairoli and Fevre until Cairoli lost it at the bottom of the hill with 3 laps to go, handing the lead and ultimately the win to Fevre. Cairoli was second, Strybos third, Koldenhoff and Boutron the top 5. In the second qualifying heat, it was Jorge Prado in MX2 that picked up the whole shot. Jeremy Seawer was behind him, but before the end of the lap, the American, number 5, Alex Martin, fell, and then 3 or 4 laps later he fell again, down to 13th place, and would eventually get back to 9th on the number 5. Max Anstey just behind him as Benoit Paturel put a charge in through to 3rd, and Seawer found his way past Prado to get into 2nd. Jeremy Van Hoorbeek, though, was taking none of it from the Swiss rider, eventually found his way through to the lead, and it was he who took victory for Belgium. Switzerland 2nd, Paturel for France was 3rd. In the open qualifying race win, Jason Anderson of the United States went down at turn 1 as Hurlings found his way past Paul Ant to take the lead by turn 3. Dean Ferris of Australia, number 21, was having a great ride, and he pushed Paul Ant all the way to the checkered flag, but it was Hurlings who was invincible in the quali. Paul Ant 2nd, Ferris 3rd.
We have really a good team, 3 good riders that are, all on the same page and want to do well. So I'm looking forward to getting there and racing this beautiful track. I've never been here before, so it's cool to check it out in person, and it's an incredible place. So looking forward to it.
The Chamberlain Trophy is definitely one of the biggest accomplishments we can have in this sport, to win this race and to bring home the trophy. That's the goal.
I feel like we always got a little bit of hype around us, so there's always pressure on us, so I'm excited. I used to be trained by Rick Johnson when I was on a little bike, so it's cool that he's here, and yeah, he'll definitely help me out through the weekend, so it'll be a good time.
When Dylan Ferrandis he squashed in Swiss GP, Benoit Paturel takes this place. Benoit is a good rider. It's finished the season at the 3rd place in MX2.
It's a big dream for me. When I was young, I think every night to this race, but now I'm here. It's really cool.
For Benoit Paturel, it's his first time, so we will see how he can handle the pressure.
Here, uphill, downhill, the crowd's going to be really tight, and I think the atmosphere is going to be special, but I think on the good way.
It's a good team. On my part, it's a good team.
We see we had a good chance again this year. I think we are pretty strong together.
So we are definitely looking forward to do it again a third time.
MX2. It was a flying start for Glenn Coldenhoff of the Netherlands. He pulled the foxhole shot. Jeremy Seward was buried in the pack as the riders headed uphill for the first time. Antonio Cairoli for Italy was right there in second place behind Coldenhoff of the Netherlands. Tommy Searle of Great Britain fell and would remount in 36th place. Strybos and Van Horbik of Belgium were locked together in the early stages just inside the top 10, as Cooper Webb was well placed as well, just behind them. Coldenhoff and Cairoli though duked it out at front as Vevra went after the Canadian, Kevin Benoit. Cairoli made that pass on Coldenhoff to take over the lead, and Vevra, who was now third, went after Coldenhoff in the battle for second position. And on lap 4, he found his way past the number 16 from the Netherlands. With a clear track, he went after Cairoli, and it was a spectacular move around the outside that saw the Frenchman, the defending champion, take over the lead. The race was on, but Vevra was in a class of his own as Jeremy Van Horbik for Belgium charged through the field as he carved his way up towards the top 5. His teammate Strybos was having a great ride as well. So too was the number 4 of Cooper Webb. Strybos got himself onto the rear wheel and then eventually found his way past Coldenhoff to get himself in the third, which is where he would finish. But he wasn't able to find his way past Cairoli as Todd Waters, the Australian, fell. He would pick himself up in 7th. Cooper Webb got himself up to 4th. His Vevra, though, was majestic in Maggiora. He went on to win race 1 from Cairoli, Strybos, Webb, and Van Horbik. Race 2, the MX2 and Open category. It was the American Jason Anderson, riding number 6, who grabbed the foxhole shot from gate 15. As everybody else jostled for position. Kei Yamamoto was just behind him in second. Borland was just inside the top 5 as Simpson struggled just behind Jeremy Van Horbik for Great Britain. Anderson led, Yamamoto stalled in the right-hander, but everybody else was safely through, including Borland of France. Tonus of Switzerland was in second, Borland was third, but to his left, the number 18 of Jeffrey Hurlings of the Netherlands, who slipped past the Frenchman and into third on the opening lap. He then went after Arno Tonus, and it wasn't long before he found his way through. On lap 3, Brent van Donnik of Belgium found himself crashing out on lap 3 as well. Would eventually come home in 37th as Hurlings and Anderson put on a show at the head of the field. The American not taking any nonsense from Hurlings, but with a few laps to go, Hurlings slipped out, crashed out, went over the bars. He didn't lose any positions, but he did get caught by the pursuing pack that was Tonus. Ferris, who found his way past Borland, but not for long, because a lap later, Borland got second wind, found his way past the Australian, pushed him back into 5th, and then went after Tonus. This move came with a sweet move around the outside with just 4 laps to go, and that was Borland up to 3rd. Hurlings was just too far away for him to have any impact. Great ride though for Jeremy Van Horbik, the lead MX2 rider, coming home in 7th for Belgium. He was just passed by Sean Simpson on the final lap in what was a very tight jostle because of the back marker there in between them as they headed down pit lane. But Herlings, well, he was impressive early on, but not as impressive as the number 6 of Jason Anderson. Making his debut appearance for Team USA, he won Moto number 1, but he wouldn't make the start for race 2 because of this incident involving a back marker as he crossed the line. He did eventually get up though, and was just diagnosed with concussion. Coming into the third and final race, the MXGP in open class. Tommy Searle thought he grabbed the foxhole shot, but it was Jeffrey Herlings who just snatched it from him by about a half a wheel. But Team USA were leading the classification, but without Anderson, Cooper Webb was the lone rider for Team USA. He really had a battle on his hands. He could not afford to make a mistake. Cairoli of Italy found his way past Searle and went after Herlings. Herlings also in the hunt for honours at the top of the championship table for the Netherlands, because his teammate was right there as well, with Glenn Koldenoff riding shotgun in fourth as Simpson went out for Britain. Cooper Webb had his hands full of Kevin Strybos. Strybos made a move at the bottom of the hill through the final turn to get himself into 5th place. All of a sudden, the Americans were starting to lose their grip at the top of the Chamberlain Trophy. Fevre was putting on a charge. Didn't make a great start, but Strybos was taking no prisoners. 1 or 2 little mistakes though before he settled down on his charge further up the field. All of a sudden, Webb got second wind as well. America were back in the hunt. He found his way past Koldenoff to put America back in the driving seat, but Fevre was closing in fast. Meanwhile, they were both closing in on Tommy Searle. A couple of passes later, and Webb was past Koldenoff. He got himself up into 5th place. And only 3 points separated the Americans, the Dutch and the French going into the final 3 laps. Fevre found his way past Koldenoff in what was an epic second half of the final race. He'd got himself onto the rear wheel of Cooper Webb, and a mistake from either of these two would possibly decide it. All of a sudden, Searle came into play. The back end spun out on Webb. He went crashing down the hill, and Fevre found his way past Tommy Searle on the final lap. Herlings out on his own at the head of the field, but he took the line and the win. Didn't know whether he'd won it or lost it for the Netherlands. Cairoli crossed the line second, Strybos third, and Fevre found his way past Searle to get himself 4th, and that was the vital point that decided it in the final half lap. France, the Chamberlain Trophy winners for the 3rd straight time. It was absolutely epic here at Maggiora Park. France standing on the top step of the podium for the 4th time. Gauthier Paulin, Romain Fevre, Benoit Paturel. The Netherlands on the podium for the first time since 2004, but America beaten into 3rd place after that slight mistake from Cooper Webb with about 2 laps to go. But this event just gets bigger and bigger.
What a weekend we've had here in Maggiora for the 70th Monster Energy FIM Motocross of Nations, presented by Fiat Professionals. Our champions were decided on the very last race in the very last lap. Team France have kept the Chamberlain Trophy for the 3rd year in a row. Time now to enjoy the celebrations and start preparing for the next event in 2 weeks' time. The Monster Energy Super Motocross Riders and Manufacturers Cup at Veltins Arena in Germany. We'll see you then. Au revoir.